What's going on, guys? My name is Kyle.
My name's Kellen.
Welcome to the Patriot Brothers.
What up?
We're gonna get into it tonight because that's what we do.
What is that?
I don't know. Feeling silly.
All right.
Feeling silly. Hey, let's do this up front this time. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, do the things you know to do because it actually makes a difference for us
It does.
and for you.
Ring-a-ding-ding.
Hit the bell so that way you know when the new videos are coming. Which, by the way, speaking of new videos, you need to go check out the 4 types of firearms that every American should own. You saw it.
Yeah.
And thoughts? Disagreements?
No, I don't have really any disagreements. I thought they were all very purposeful.
Yes.
I was just disappointed in the lack of AR-15s.
Oh, well, I kind of said it in the video, but I was like, hey, I'm not going to get got by DOJ. Your boy's not going to prison over this YouTube channel, all right?
Yeah. Don't worry. Everything we have, California compliant.
Hey, did you hear about the California roster? The handgun roster?
Did.
Yo!
I watched everybody's favorite scholar who is armed. He had a couple videos on it.
Yep.
Fascinating.
Yep.
But also, I think it's far from over.
Far from over, but a move in the right direction.
I mean, hot dog.
And as all those gun activists, the gun control activists say, it's a good first step.
Yeah.
So anyway, hey, I got a question for you tonight, and really more of a statement that we would love this to be interactive. So make sure you're commenting, and if you do, I don't know, repost this or whatever, like tag us. We want to have an actual conversation about this because I know that there are some people who are watching. We're gonna call you lurkers, and you're watching and not commenting, and I know you have feelings about it because you'll DM me later about how wrong I was.
It's creepy, and you need to be an adult.
All right, so tonight I want to talk about something more of a statement. And by the way, please join in this conversation, put it in the chat. And forgive me for reading the statement on my phone, but I wanted to make sure I get this right because I wrote it down a couple weeks ago and I wanted to circle back and talk with you about it.
Cool.
So,
Let's talk about it.
All right. Is law-abiding a title for patriots? Is it a title for patriots? Meaning, are we okay with the term law-abiding? Right? Because we like to say we're law-abiding gun owners. We're law-abiding citizens. We're law-abiding, people who abide by laws.
As one would expect.
But the truth is, I think every single one of us breaks the law. And I think if we were like really intentional about looking at our lives, we would find that we break the law every day.
I'm not sure what I've done today that would break the law.
Did you speed?
It's me. No.
But you did. You had to have touched 66 miles an hour.
I rarely go over 60.
Then you had to touch 45 in a 35. Or 41 in a 40. Yeah, I see that. I see that little.
I don't know if I did or not.
Okay, but like, is it in that sense? I think yes, I'm a law-abiding citizen. I want to wear my seatbelt. I know my wife is probably having a cow
that's
right
the law
now.
I broke. 100%. That's the one. I freaking hate wearing a seatbelt. It itches my shoulder. California, my body, my choice. Okay.
I know my wife doesn't. She gets on me all the time. Wear your seatbelt. Please wear your seatbelt. If not for you, for us. And I'm like, all right, fine. I'll wear my seatbelt.
Your car won't stop verbally harassing you until you get that sucker on.
Yes,
anyways.
I have one of those new ring dingers that says, "Put on your seatbelt, stupid." So anyway,
Okay, let me ask you this because I think this kind of will clarify things.
Right.
What do you mean by patriot?
let's take this in a two-step approach. One, patriot, our forefathers.
Okay.
The ones who fought in the revolution, the one who fought for our freedom that we now have, the ones who fought for it and then wrote it down. Would law-abiding citizen be a title that they would take on? And follow-up question, would they be happy about
it? I think, so his wife gave me a book for Christmas-ish, and it's like all these wonderful documents from America's founding to like somewhat modern day. And it goes from everything from like Lincoln's Address,
Right.
the Silence Do Good letters, the Declaration of Independence, and I finally finished reading all of that last week. Which
You read
was
the whole thing?
The whole thing. And I feel more American now than I've ever felt before in my life.
That is a
And
gauntlet.
if anybody knows me, I felt pretty American. No, but like going through that and hearing like just their mindset about the rules, they thought that what they had created was awesome. And truth be told, it was.
Yeah.
And so I think abiding by that, you can be patriotic. I think the dilemma comes in of what is morality and what is not morality. Mm-hmm. And if a law forces you to break your morality, it might be time to break some laws.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. I like that. I like the delineation between morality and law. Because for sure, there are some laws that are not moral.
Yeah.
Or things that are tolerated in laws that are not moral.
100%.
But the more I think about it, like when I read about our founding fathers here, there's no way any of them would have taken on the title of law-abiding citizen.
I think they would have enjoyed it, but I'm not sure that's something that they would have just like heralded of, I'm a law-abiding citizen.
Okay, think of it this way. They literally broke the law to leave to start this country.
Yeah.
I don't think they were excited about making a ton of laws, hence the Declaration of Independence, saying, hey, leave our rights alone.
Yeah.
Now, like, I understand without rule of law, we become crazy and anarchists. I'm not an anarchist, okay? Just not.
Well, that's good.
I like order. That being said, we have way too many freaking laws.
Hey, Tuna, where's my freaking phone?
Oh, man. No, I think they enjoyed laws, but I don't think they wrote laws for man to live by. I think they wrote laws for the outliers. So, like, we put our seatbelt on because we have to put our seatbelt on, or we get tickets. Like, there's a punishment.
Oh yeah, I got a ticket for that a couple months ago.
I think they, of course you did. They wrote laws so that the outliers who were not like party people with them would have some rule of law to come back under. Does that make sense? Am I making?
It's a little vague. Going back to like the founders and everything, if you read a lot of their writings and the verbiage that they use, you can tell they had a passion for, as best we can, being aggressively good citizens.
Right.
But
that was their moral.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. So they were actually like trying to be the best citizens as possible, and they allowed England, prior to the war for independence and all that, they were doing their absolute best to fall under that with as much respect and humility as they could. And when they started feeling like, hey, we're not being treated the same in return, we're not being given the same respect that we're giving, this is making us angsty. So they started reaching out to different groups of people and trying to figure out, hey, how can we work this out? When it finally culminated, with the Boston Tea Party and all that jazz, it was like, yeah, they have reached a point where not only were they not getting respect, they realized they were never going to get the same respect in turn, and they had turned into doormats.
So then instead of it being a law that we're choosing just not to follow, maybe there is a point in which we all say, hey, like we've finally had enough. It's like, hey, let's all follow the laws. We're all on board with that. I think you and I are on board with that. Follow the law as best you can. Be a good person. But at some point, when the respect for human life leaves, when the respect for our rights is infringed, and I'm not just talking about Second Amendment, I'm talking about any right here. This is not about guns tonight. We're talking about freedom as a subject. When freedom is infringed, now we have the problem where we're saying, hey, now, like, time out, big brother. We wrote rules to say this is what we want, this is what we don't want. And I think people forget that, like, we elect officials on purpose.
Oh, yeah?
And then officials like to think that they are chosen instead of elected.
They are.
Okay, but, like, ordered and placed rather than elected.
Yeah, like anointed rulers.
Anointed. That's a good word. They feel like they are crowned and anointed as the ruler when in actuality, no, it's us, the citizens. And for some reason, I think the good citizens are busy living their life. I think good, honest people, good, honest citizens can break the law and be okay.
Yeah. I mean, you said it before, like, we've all broken laws even today. Like, mine was, I don't wear a seatbelt. Come at me. They did.
They will.
Please don't come at me again. Actually, I retract that statement. But I think we also need to be aware of, okay, if we're going to not follow a certain rule, like transing the kids is like a big thing now, apparently.
What?
Transing the kids.
Okay.
And there was recently a father, I believe in Canada, who did not want to transition his underage child, and the mother did want to, and they went to court, and the court said, no, the mother can transition. And so now the father's placed in an awkward position where he is court mandated to transition his child. What do you do?
It's a sick world.
What do you do?
I'm not a lawyer, nor am I Canadian.
Thank God I'm not Canadian.
In Canada, we love you, but we're sorry for you.
We love you, Canada. Trudeau, kick rocks.
Yeah. I don't know what I would do in that situation, and I don't know that I'm even comfortable sharing on a public platform what I would do in that situation. Drive south until you start seeing stars and stripes, sucker.
I love that answer so much. Keep driving south till you see stars and stripes, sucker.
Oh man. Well, I was thinking about this conversation and wrestling with it in my own head, because when I think of our Declaration of Independence, it says when a long train of usurpations infecting or impacting invariably the same object. So when there is a clear disregard for human rights, or when there's a clear disregard for our freedoms as Americans, it says it is their right and their duty to throw off such government.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, at what point do we finally say, okay, enough is enough? We're done. I don't know that I'm willing to say I'm going to follow all of your laws for the sake of having the title law-abiding citizen. Mm-hmm. I'm not willing to do that. I will do first what my morals say, right? Because my morals are subjugated by Scripture.
Yes.
So if I have that as the guiding light in my life, then any law that comes against Scripture, I will gladly disobey.
Yeah. I was actually just doing a study on 1 Peter with a small group that I teach. And towards the end, in like chapter 4, basically Peter says, as best you can, be aggressively the best citizens you can be. Right up until that clashes with biblical teaching.
Sure.
And I think like this video is not us saying like, hey, go break some laws and call yourself a patriot. It's saying, hey, being a patriot might mean there are some laws broken.
Well, and then we just have such a low tolerance for pain in our generations that we don't understand the word patriot the way other generations know it.
Yeah.
Like patriots have legit fought for this country, have legit died for this country, or lost something for this country, and laid down parts or all of themselves to make sure that we have the freedom that we get to choose to enjoy. And I don't know what my generation is going to be known for as far as patriots, but I will say this: it's important that we do the best we can to protect our families, to protect our values, and to get out and do things like vote or protest peacefully. And I don't mean like the 2020 peacefully. I mean like real peacefully.
Yeah.
Do things the way that, because there is a portion of our law system that says, if you're going to disregard the law, this is the way to do it.
Yep.
You're allowed to peacefully protest. That means I don't agree with you, and I'm allowed to tell you I don't agree with you.
And it's funny because like when they're writing the Bill of Rights and everything, The very first amendment, the very first thing in the very first amendment is our freedom to protest.
Yep.
So they said, hey, we know in this government that there are going to be people who disagree with some of the things that we say, and we want to give space to hear your voice.
Right.
So I think if you're not out there making your voices heard, then you're doing yourself and your government a disservice.
So then, is law abiding a title for patriots?
It can be.
I think it is, given the fact that we know in this country at any time we can revolt.
I forget who said it, but they said freedom is only ever one generation away from extinction.
Yeah.
So like if you're not willing to fight for it, you might not see it 10 years down the road. Your kids might not see it.
Yeah. I do love, though, that we have this ability in this country. Well, we've had this ability. We have the freedom to do this, but we can listen to another side that doesn't agree with us. And we can say, hey, you know what? I understand. I think you're wrong personally, but I'm glad that you have the opportunity to share this side of the story.
Yeah.
I love that we can have this open dialogue with countrymen, and we call them neighbors, friends. Like I have friends that I disagree with politically. I have friends that I disagree with spiritually. I have friends that I disagree with morally.
You and I disagree about a lot of things.
Occasionally we do.
Sometimes. Let me ask you something that might potentially get edited out.
Okay.
Preface that. January 6th.
All right. What about it?
Patriots?
I think puppets.
You think puppets? Who were tugging the strings, the marionette strings?
Yeah, this is some of this is getting edited. Who do I think was tugging the strings? I don't think we know yet. In the same way that it took them 2 years to release footage of the horned kook being ushered around, literally.
The QAnon shaman?
The bull man himself. There's video of him being literally ushered around the White House.
Capitol.
Capitol. I don't know that there's other video that's going to come up in 2 years from now. That's going to show another side. So I don't know. I do know this. They had the right to protest, and they probably took it too far because it left peaceful at vandalism.
Yeah.
So I don't care, Republican, Democrat. I don't care if you were progressive or liberal. I don't care if you were Christian or non-Christian. I don't care what color you were. At some point, we have to say, hey, we have this rule of law, and that is we protest peacefully. You can peacefully disagree with anybody that you dang well please. But once it leaves peaceful, now we have a problem. And this is why I think law-abiding can pertain to patriots. I don't think it has to, but it can. There are laws that I choose willingly to submit to. And one of those is a peaceful protest. So January 6th is its own freaking kerfuffle.
That's a good word for it.
I don't know that we will ever know the details.
Well, I think it's interesting that we have like people that are going to jail from this thing, for years on end. But they have guys on video who are saying like, oh, that we need to go to the Capitol, and everybody around him chanting Fed, Fed, Fed. And that guy's never been prosecuted.
One of these things just doesn't belong here.
Yeah.
Well, good talk, man. I think we'd love to hear what you have to say about this. I think if you think about these things now, you won't have to worry about them later.
Yeah. Could not agree more.
As are most of the topics that we talk about here on this channel. But hey, we're super grateful for you. You got anything else you want to say?
I would love to hear different opinions on this. I'm a huge fan of communal hermeneutic.
Yep.
I think this is a controversial issue because talking about breaking laws, whoopsie daisy. No, I really would like to hear what some of you guys have to say. So please get active in the comment section. Also, if you end up, making some kind of content that is relevant to this topic, go ahead and tag us in it. We'd love to see it.
Yep. Sorry, the fly
fly.
flew right in front of me. Oh, man. We would love to see it. Tag us. Make sure you say what's up. But until next time, be safe and stay free. Hoorah!
Like I was trying to like ignore it, but then you just went like right near me.